Yeah, you never say the one. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 8th episode of the pod, where we have something. I'm very excited, but I think that everybody else is as well. So I think it's safe to say we're all excited about this, except for the victim of our hilarious prank, Wes, who is this housemate that nobody has met yet on the pod, but he does exist, and to prove it, he will be coming in live later on in the broadcast to recite to us one of his hilarious stand-up jokes, because he's one of the meekest, mildest people you will ever meet in your life, unless you go to an arts kind of place that studies fine arts a lot and you have to draw naked people. I doubt that there's many loud people in those situations, and if there is, my God, I'm glad I'm not a nudist model. That is really intimidating while you're sitting there going, oh wow, that's a bit small, isn't it? It's a cold day. But I bet you that it's not. Anyway, the point is that Wes is one of those people that would not be yelling in that situation. He is from Taiwan, to give you a brief introduction to the human being that is Wes.
And Robbie's our sound man, and he's not here right now because he's just gone out to get Wes. I'm pretty sure he's cleaning his teeth.
And he's getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
But little did he know he was getting ready for the same shape as a mic. He will be coming in front of it in a second and reciting to us a stand-up joke in approximately 15 minutes. I just made that number up. It could even be shorter, Wes, so you better think fast, because you're coming in and you're reciting a minute's worth of stand-up purely because we didn't really ask. We're just
he went past and
more
just
than demanding.
Yeah, he just walked past the room and flipped us off. I don't think he's going to do it.
Good start, Wes.
We're ready.
Always, yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast. We'll see. He'll come back later on. This is
And
Jordan.
Robbie has given us a very converse symbol of the hand. He's given us the thumbs up, so I don't know which one to believe. Did
he say he's going to do it or not?
What did he say?
He just walked past and flipped us off.
Oh no, he's doing it.
Yeah, that is Wes's way. That's the Brisbane AOK sign, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
He also spent a brief period of time in Brisbane, and rather oddly claims that his hometown is Brisbane, even though I think that he only spent a few years there at most.
No, I think he grew up there.
Okay, well, yeah.
I think he's all right to say that.
It's hard to deny that fact.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah.
It's a good city, I guess. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been there in my life, but I'm sure that it's got its merits and pluses and minuses like anywhere else in the world, isn't it?
Yeah. So we wanted to talk about a big fan of Friendlyjordies who this week has got a tattoo on his arse. What did it say again? What was it? It said instead of pingers and mash, instead of bangers and mash, it's pingers and gash.
And Tom was obviously reading the photograph that was posted on Facebook, as it wasn't very legible. And that's going to be on your ass until you're dead now.
But that's pretty awesome.
You have prison tattooed that on your own bum. Good job. You should have at least got somebody else to do it. Because that is going to be there forever, and we 100% condone that. Good job. I wrote his name down on the sheet of paper, but I don't have it in front of me, as Tom usually takes care of the notes, but I made a mental note to myself to take care of the notes this episode purely because of that reason.
Either Liam Sloggett or Nick Fontana. Which is it?
Yeah, it's Nick Fontana.
Yes,
and
Nick.
Coincidentally, Liam Sloggett is the guy that I said a few pods ago his name was Nick, because I couldn't remember his name, so I decided to write it down for this pod's episode. So that is a very bizarre coincidence. Something that we'll be talking more about in depth later on in the pod. What could it be? Ooh, you'll have to find out and listen later on. And later on includes right now. That's a different segment of time, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking about ESP.
Oh, really? Okay, right. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you thought we scrapped it for ants? No, think again.
Cool.
We're going to be testing that, because Tom believes that he has psychic abilities. I disagree. I think that's absurd. I think it's blatantly obvious that he is a wizard, and calling yourself a psychic? What is with your psychobabble nonsense?
I don't believe it necessarily.
What you are, you Merlin of modern age that has a damn iPhone. Imagine that. Merlin not only putting magical spells on swords to determine who or not is the king of England next, but also being able to tell exactly where he is.
Apparently,
he is unstoppable.
Merlin stole Stonehenge as well. Did you know that? Oh, that's like the
Stole
myth.
Stonehenge.
That's the myth. That's like what the official record was that Merlin was responsible for Stonehenge.
Do you think him and the Hamburglar would exchange tips if they met one another? Or do you think that Merlin thinks he's higher than the Hamburglar and tries to condone him for his actions, and the Hamburglar sitting there going, you and me, we ain't so different, buddy.
Yeah. I think Merlin would think bigger of himself.
Well, that's your opinion.
Yeah, well, stuff you.
Robbie, do you have the same opinion?
Sure. Was Merlin a real person?
Well, no, there's very hazy history about that, and I think it's only hazy because it was a Channel 10 6:30 Sunday series following the very rich tradition of such other great television shows as Xena Warrior Princess, Hercules, and the much less celebrated Sinbad that everyone watched once and thought, no, 2 mythological shows is enough. I've got other things to do.
I think he was was he? I think he's as like mythological as like who's like King Arthur or something.
Yeah,
like
my
that.
gran thinks
probably the same
says that I'm related to King Arthur.
See? As if it doesn't make more sense that you are a wizard at this point because you know him. You're supposed to
Arthur,
guide
yeah.
Robbie into his
Oh, there
kingdom.
you go, yeah.
His kingdom being this magical room with 15 to 20 books on a fireplace that doesn't work. It's truly is.
Yeah, with my help it
The
will.
place of a king. And the king plays drums as well. You'd always think that a king would play the sax, but all right, if you like beats, that's fine.
I used to play the alto.
I think people may have heard that in the distance echoing from the room that he said I used to twice, but just in case you did it,
Yeah.
Robbie says that he used to play alto sax. And so did I, Robbie. It's just some quick general information for anybody out there listening. You've got yourselves 2 of the instruments of the main instrument that is in the Blues Brothers. So you've got
work.
double up
Yeah.
there with nowhere even close to half of the skill probably because we both quit, I'm guessing, in year 6.
Did you, Robbie?
I did it pretty. Oh yes, yeah, probably about year 7. Yeah.
Oh, close enough, I think.
Yeah, no, we're definitely halfway there, aren't we?
Yes,
It's
yeah.
So move over Blues Brothers. We might pick it up when we're in our 80s and then think, nah, I've got Alzheimer's now, it's too late.
So what did you think of the tattoo, Jordan? Like, honestly, did you like it? I thought it was really cool. Like, I was really like kind of like chuffed that some dude just has done that to himself. I feel bad for him, but
Honestly, how could you not?
yeah.
And I'm willing to say this, Tom actually has come up with the greatest joke that was ever conceived on Friendlyjordies. It's the only, it's pretty much the only joke he ever made. And it was the greatest by a mile. Wizard.
Further evidence.
That is amazing. A humorous, magical being is he, with the quite magical name in the sense that it sounds like you would have a bag of beans that allow you to grow a magic stalk, and you go up there and it doesn't have a giant there for some bizarre reason. There's just a really, really tiny human being yelling at you going, "Don't take my gold!" And you can take it very easily because you're also really lucky. We're going to be talking about that later on in the pod as well. You are a lucky wizard. You're basically looking at that cat from Oz Lotto, except for he's got one of those cheap party hats that you get that sometimes have stars on them. He has spoken.
So yeah, this week we thought we'd talk about our conspiracy theory up front to just kind of mix things up a bit because
I thought we discussed that, but we didn't really finalize it. But I
But we
guess
have
2
now,
against
yeah.
1. Yeah, fair enough. I was fighting strongly against that, and I want to be straight on the record as saying that I oppose this, but against my will, we will
Well-
talk about it first because I'm not that interested in it. Don't really
Get it
want
out
to
of the
defend
way.
it that much. There's going to be very different dynamics in this
yeah, well, I think
week's.
with this one, it's not so much a debate because we both agree that it's crap. But I'm pretty sure that Robbie, who's usually the judge and decides whether or not it's right or wrong, is pretty keen on this conspiracy theory, or used to be at least, which is that Tupac Shakur is alive and well, and he faked his death.
I thought I didn't study that conspiracy theory at all. I just studied the one that he was killed by the Illuminati.
Well,
so we have completely
No,
contrasting.
they're pretty similar conspiracy theories.
I don't
One's
know
that
if
he's
they
dead,
are. One saying he's still alive and one saying he's dead. That's pretty night
but I
and day
think
to me, Tom.
Illuminati's
But
involved
if
in
you-
both, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't study yours. I keep telling. I don't like. I did not study for this test. I am sweating.
All right,
This
we'll do
reminds
the-
me of
we
maths
can
in
do
year
the
9 all over
Illuminati.
again when I had that Asian teacher that was just like constantly talking about competition. It was always at the bottom. Damn it, Miss Quad, your spirit lives on.
Well, we can do the killed by Illuminati. I just feel like we talk about Illuminati way too much.
Yeah, no, all right. Tupac is live and well purely because we talk about the Illuminati too much. So they've elusively slipped through
Got
our
away with
fingers,
this
which is
one.
exactly what they wanted. They've been normalized to us.
Yeah.
We now basically exist we basically admit that they exist.
Yeah.
We don't exist that they admit. I can't figure out how that sentence structure makes any sense at all. And that's what the Illuminati wanted in the first place, isn't it? They want everything, don't they? That everything happens because of them.
So yeah, how the
Already
theory
discussed
works is that Tupac was killed, and that or not killed, but he faked his own death just before the release of his 7th album, which he then layers just like heaps of clues about how, like he's like trying to tell you that he's actually alive, and it's just a really strange thing where everyone like claimed that they saw Tupac after the death, and like that, yeah.
To sum it up, if you haven't seen any of the conspiracy theory stories, and neither have I, so I'm trying to loosen this up to myself as well. So, Tom, tell me if the noose has been slightly adjusted to our necks, if you will.
Okay.
Is it kind of like when Krusty the Clown turned himself into Rory B. Bellows
Yeah,
and
exactly,
then blew up the
exactly,
ship
yeah.
to get more life insurance money to pay off the debts that he accumulated under Rory B. Bellows?
Yeah, I think it is meant to be similar to that. I don't know so much about the
Why else did he die in
Why he
Vegas?
faked it.
Gambling debts.
Ah.
Is that... Oh,
that-
so I added that to the pot, did I?
Yeah.
Well, there you go, conspiracy theorists. The broth that is your theory is thickened with now 2 ingredients.
Yeah, gambling
Both
debt.
have spice and carrots.
Yeah, I don't
Carrots
actually know.
representing the gambling debt.
From watching all the videos and like
Solid.
researching it, it felt as though there was like heaps of depth to it. But now I think about it, it's pretty like shallow. Like it's not much there. Like I think the thing was meant to be that he was going to, like lead some kind of revolution within the black community. So they had to like get rid of him. So it's either they killed him or they made him fake his death, or like he's not really dead and people see him around the place and. But he was trying to warn people that the Illuminati or whoever it was going to, try and do this to him. So he layered his songs, his future albums with like little clues as to like what was going to happen and that kind of thing.
Well, it makes sense that somebody would start the war drum if they were a musician, as drums, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, are a musical instrument.
And resonate
And rapping is got beats in it.
Which is close enough.
So if I was the government, I'd be very concerned with that. I would want him dead.
Apparently, he did actually get quite political near the end. He was getting quite into that, and but also there is a photo of him dead, like slashed up.
Yeah, but it's
on the
fake. It's
table,
fake.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can really fob that off, though.
Yeah, no, well, I watched a thing today of like multiple experts claiming that it's faked, but like it's always like the same thing. I don't think it's fake. I think it's real. It's just like, yeah. I just don't, again, it's just like every week it seems as though these things, like the Beyonce thing or like Tupac, to me, like I was saying to Jordan earlier, it seems like Chris Rock sums it up best in that, in his joke that like Tupac and Biggie weren't assassinated like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. They were assassinated. Biggie and Tupac were just shot. Like there is no, it's just like he isn't important enough to like do some like elaborate like,
I don't know. He
faking.
did have a lot of sway in the community that loved him a lot, and that community, of course, that he meant the most to was Australian citizens that are half Maori, half Scottish. Because I knew this.
Yeah, that was it.
One guy in a really nice time of my life. You know those really depressing moments in any 90s film about inner city gangs, and there's again, Robbie and I could have done the whole sad track of that movie with our saxophones, where they're kind of just sitting outside of a crappy apartment window looking outside, and there's a sound with like a basically, that guy had a month-long moment of that in the 90s while I was coming to school every day, and he was my what I thought was a friend, but probably not. It was I was 5 and he was 10 or 11. Anyway, so I'd always come with my Charlotte Hornets NBA singlet on, and I'm pretty sure that I only thought we were friends because he had a Chicago Bulls singlet that he'd always bring to school and shoot hoops, and I'd always be sitting there going, yeah, can I play? Maybe when you're older, man. Yeah, it was a bit of that.
Your best friend.
So in retrospect, we weren't friends at all. The point is that and I'm glad that he was depressed for a month now. Good. When Tupac died, he wouldn't leave his room. He took maybe because I was in kindergarten and life seems to go very slowly. It could have been a couple of days, but it seemed like a month because every time I was out there on the basketball pitch and I could see my own shadow passing itself, waiting for Bodie to return.
Yeah, you couldn't play ball with Bodie.
No. Tupac dead. It ain't time to play ball. It time to ball tears.
Yeah, nice.
It's a very poetic way to ask Robbie what you think about that conspiracy theory. What do you reckon about it?
Just on a side note, did you, with your alto, like walk down the street blaring it?
Robbie,
I was
stop
12.
disturbing the peace. Why do you think that that's a fun thing to do? Piss off your neighbours.
Did you?
Did the Offspring do this? Were they a bad influence on you, Robbie? Is that the reason why you were making old ladies look outside their curtain and shut it really angrily, knowing that there's nothing they can do? Were you trying to stick it to them? Why are you trying to get prunes to have an even more wrinkly existence as their face furrows up with rage, going, ooh, as that's all they can do? After all, they are prunes.
I can't quite remember why we did it. I think I had a couple of other mates that played alto and they came round and
what? Your little band troupe
after school. Well, it was compulsory; like everyone had to play an instrument.
Oh right.
And so yeah, and then we just got them out and they were new, and so we just waltzed down the street, just honking them so loud it was ridiculous.
What do you think about Tupac?
Let me just finish this.
That's fine, Robbie.
Give me the mic.
Are you actually going to keep talking about the sax? Go on. Yeah, go on. But if you start now, you have to keep going for 20 minutes. You won't have the mic for the whole time. We've got other things to talk about. But yeah, it's either judge or talk about your sax.
Tupac.
I'll get Wes to finish my alto sax story for me. All right. That'll happen. No, I think Tupac.
Yes, all right. That's his new challenge on top of that as well. After talking about the stand-up routine, he has to then finish the end of Robbie's story and the only thing that we can say is Robbie had a saxophone and then he tooted it loudly. And he has to show where that went. And I'm sure he has a good idea of that.
I'm almost certain that we won't have Wes come in at all for this.
Oh, he's coming.
So what do you reckon on Tupac? Is he alive? Was he killed by Illuminati?
Well, he's obviously alive and well. And
yeah, I think that's
I think that the Illuminati connection with him, I think is... Well, he named one of his albums Killuminati, didn't he?
Thin at best.
Yeah, no. Let's flip the script on that one.
Yeah, that is kind of
so
weird.
So the skeptic speaks out even at that, putting a K at the end of Killuminati, and you think that that's thin at best? Well, I think that that's obese.
Well,
obese and get out of the queue. You've had enough to gorge at the buffet of possible evidence. You've eaten all the damn evidence of the Illuminati and put it in one damn name. That's all we've got. And you're saying it's thin?
Yes.
You are shallow Hal, my friend.
He's obviously dead, right? But the Illuminati connections, if there is such a thing, and we'll continue to talk about this, but
yeah, I hate how it always gets.
It always gets back to that. Machiavelli Shakur, dead.
Rest in
but
peace.
Illuminati connections strong.
Yeah.
That's my verdict.
Okay, wait a second. So, Robbie, despite me basically just talking about Bodhi being upset that that Tupac was dead in the 90s at some point, and Tom just saying very briefly with maybe one or two pieces of evidence, including, they had some experts talk about whether he exists or not. I mean, whether he was killed or not, but, they've got experts for everything was one of his reasons.
Yeah.
Robbie has concluded from that, and rightfully so now that we look at the actual evidence and argument that Tom put forward, as we clearly both don't care about this conspiracy at all, that Robbie's mind has not been changed, nor has it once in every single episode of the pod that we've made so far.
Yeah, it hasn't, has it? You've never been convinced anywhere from what you said.
I come to it with my own...
You're not a great judge, are you?
I'm not, look, I think that the fact is I'm not as blank a slate as
we
you
hope.
think I am or something. Like I think you have a pretty good idea of where I'm going to go.
Well, how about this one
we
then,
do,
Robbie?
because you never change your damn mind and you tell us what you're going to say beforehand and you just keep it that way. You're not a judge, you're just an executioner. From now on, can we just put one of these pillowcases over his head, and we won't cut out holes through it because it's not our property, it's Robbie's, and we're going to have to ask him to do it. But if you've got an opinion on that, write it in the comments section. Make him his pillows.
Oh, I'm going to have to bleep that. So... No,
you're right to do it, Robbie.
I don't think it's necessarily my fault that.
No, you can have your opinions. That's fine. But you're a judge in this segment.
I'm a judge, and as a judge,
I think I have the authority to say here
that. I don't think I'd hold an opinion if I didn't think if it didn't have some weight. So in terms of my judging, I would be influenced by what you're saying, but I would.
You're clearly not influenced at all.
Because nothing's influenced you.
You haven't been influenced once. All right, I don't know why you're defending.
It's not like you're not taking, like, for instance, we'll talk about what we say and then...
No, Robbie,
like,
this is not acceptable. You have to just admit that you're a biased charlatan executioner. Just pretend wearing a damn wig, but you've still got your hood over the top of it.
Yeah,
we all know that this is a sham trial.
Illuminati, mate. All right. Well, what's the ideal? How would you ideally like?
You just listen to what we say, and then
once,
judge that.
Judge the exact opposite of what you say, and then we would have completely been diverted off the scent.
Then we won't know. Yeah,
we're not detectives. We're more just sniffer dogs. We kind of just know. We know certain things, and that's about it.
Sometimes I won't be honest, then, and sometimes I will.
That's all we want.
You just want variety, is that it? You just want variety.
That's all we're asking for.
Yeah, basically that's what we want from you. Not a fair verdict, just some damn pizzazz for once.
Yeah. All right.
Right. Tupac segment was a success after all. I like putting the conspiracy theory at the beginning. I don't know why I was so against it beforehand.
Yeah, I think we get through
a lot of stuff done. In the words of some 80s band that I only remember from an office work ad, we are taking care of business. In fact, it's been taken care of, so we should have used the past tense in that situation.
All right, I think we're up to Goosebumps now.
I do not want a Tim Tam while
No,
I'm
I want a
speaking
Tim
onto the pod.
Oh my
Can
God.
you please stop
Such
making
a loud
sounds
noise.
in the background, constantly eating whenever we're recording this.
Yeah, Goosebumps time.
Why are you so desperate for food all the time? You're such a little rodent of a man. Just constant nibbles.
It's true. What are you damn right
Stop
now.
swearing into the mic.
Yeah,
it's all
you have
right
to beep it.
when you do it, isn't it, Robbie? Now, read your damn Goosebumps.
All right, but
which
just
is
quickly-
presented by
Yep,
Lonely Kids
thank
Club.
you.
Thank you very much. Was that what you wanted?
Yeah,
You wanted
yeah,
the shout out, did you?
Yep.
Yeah, Tom gets what he wants, doesn't he?
LonelyKidsClub.com. So yeah,
Really
this-
smooth, as if by magic. You keep thinking
interesting.
about that because, as we've already mentioned, it's coming out later, so I thought I'd just re-jog your memory once again to pad out time between talking about Goosebumps for no reason. Let's get on to Goosebumps.
This, though, quickly is the segment we do every week where we ask the audience to choose the scare. And the two options this week were... So basically what's happened so far is the lead character of our story has gone into a time machine. He's at a museum, he's gone into a time machine, he's gone to New York, and his parents are about to get hit by a car, and he's run off, like he's gone back in time to try and stop his parents get hit by a truck, actually. And we had to choose, do we want to talk to the truck dispatcher or the truck driver? And there was one person who voted this week, which is...
You got 2 thumbs up.
Yeah,
there,
yeah. So 3, I guess.
Triple what you bloody mentioned, mate. Stop giving conservative estimates.
Yeah, and they get what they want, which is the truck
Fabled
driver.
as you want. 1,000, he meant. That's right. Almost half of everybody that listens to this pod voted on it. Stop lying, Tom.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's just read the book. And
You're a good guy, Tom.
all right.
Salivating from that Tim Tam.
Oh, my God. Go on.
Are you in condition to read this, Robbie? Oh my!
You spat on the floor.
I think you've had enough.
All right, here we go.
Chocolate.
All right, let's hear it.
You ask someone to point out the.
God. Take it off him.
Please.
No, give it back.
This is so unprofessional. I am mortified at your behaviour, Robbie.
How hard is it?
Just all round screw up.
I've got this. You ask someone to point out the driver of the green truck. He's a grey-haired man in a plaid jacket. Now you have to decide what to say to him. Maybe you can get him to take you along with him, and then at the crucial moment, you can steer the truck away from your family. Finally, you come up with 2 plans. You could tell him you're from out of town and you're lost, and you want to ride to your hotel. Or you could pretend the dispatcher wants him to take you along on the next delivery. Which will you choose?
Oh, screw that.
Okay, that was Goosebumps. Well done. Robbie screwing up the first sentence was longer than the actual passage. Tune
Was
in
that
next
half a
week.
page?
We'll find out whether you choose between diminishingly worse choices.
No.
We can
I
only get
reckon
better from here.
we were talking about
That's
it
what you
before, but
feel.
I actually think we should continue. That was way too short.
The 2 options are...
We get to choose this week, and then we'll
let's
keep
just-
going, and they
we'll
get a choice
choose
as
the
well.
scare for once.
All right. All those in favour of the first option, which is to say that you're a lost out of towner and that you're 10 years old, which is, you can tell that was written in the 90s, weren't you? A different time. Wouldn't be advising that.
So you're a lost out of towner, and you need a lift. Is that it?
That was option 1.
Or
Option 2 was, don't know why I am saying this, Robbie, what is it?
Pretend the dispatcher sent you.
oh, okay. What do you reckon? Yeah, an out of towner.
Both of you go for out of towner. Yes, I vote for out of towner as well, as long as Robbie puts on a phony German accent for the main character when he says that he's an out of towner.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And which will be that won't be the cream of the crop when it gets to him talking about that, because what it will be better is the fact that there'll be no mentioning whatsoever from the truck driver of him being German.
Yeah, that will be good. All right, let's hear it. Robbie?
Excuse me, sir.
Straight off the bat one, I tell you.
You say, approaching the truck driver.
The dispatcher said you might be able to help me.
You explain.
My family and I are from out of town. I got separated from them earlier, and I'm wondering if you can give me a ride to my hotel.
Sure thing, kid, he says. Where is it? You give him the address, near the Museum of Natural History. That's right, on my way, he says. Come on, let's get started. With a smile of relief, you follow him to the truck and strap yourself into the passenger seat. How do you like the city, kid? He asks as the truck barrels along a broad avenue.
It's great,
You tell him.
lots of interesting...
Uh-oh, the driver interrupts. The accelerator, he yells. It's stuck. The truck tears down the street. You glance back and forth from the driver to the crowded intersection straight ahead. You can see your family about to cross the street, and the truck is gaining speed. Changing pages.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
Powerful stuff, yeah.
I'm really involved in this.
That German accent made everything really serious.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened since the 40s. It's always been hilarious since then. It's gone in full circle. It's a dark time.
Enough time has passed.
As the truck bears down on your family, the driver seems totally paralyzed. In fact, he seems to have fainted.
Oh no.
You struggle out of your seatbelt. It's up to you to do something. This is what you planned for. This is why you came back to this time. But somehow you didn't think it would be so hard to stop the truck. Maybe you can steer the truck onto another street, or should you try to reach the brakes? Make a decision, quickly. The decisions are try to steer the truck, go for the brakes.
There's two decisions.
There's always two decisions. I don't know why we're hanging on for a third one. Come on, R.L. Stein, break tradition of what is the 13th book in this season. No, it's number 2. So, yeah, no, it was pretty not that set in stone. We were right to, even though retrospectively knowing that there is no break ever in the tradition of having two options.
Yeah.
Imagine if we didn't.
yeah. So the options are, so you either steer the truck away or you attempt to use the brakes. And remember, the only way to vote is to go to the Facebook Friendlyjordies page and comment in the podcast post, which comes out on Sundays.
And we all appreciate you listening to it on the bus, and when you are, I'm imagining doing a lot of vacuuming in your house, an hour long's worth of vacuuming. So so the Queen is listening to this in Buckingham Palace and has figured out a way to wrestle the vacuum cleaner off the maid. She's a very old woman who is really tough, but that's how much she loves the pod, I guess. Maybe that happens.
Maybe.
The point is that she's listening. Yeah, you're listening to it on your iPhones, and that's really nice. But stop thinking about yourself.
Yeah, go on the Facebook page.
Think about us for once.
So thank you, Lonely Kids
Do
Club.
all this
You're
for
awesome.
you.
And that was Goosebumps.
And so's the listener, despite me getting very mean to them towards the end. I don't mean it.
Yeah, you're all
It's
right.
just my way. Love you guys.
All right, so now we're going to talk about ESP.
Which stands for, and Tom just pointed to me, but I'm going to point it right back to you, buddy. This
Oh,
is
no.
mental handball. Zap, what do you say?
Well, we
mate?
thought
You wanna
earlier
get
that
into
it
dunks, or
was-
do you want to get into ace? Now's your time to chat.
We thought it was extrasensory perception, but I'm not 100% on that.
And I am 100% on it. Even
No one
though,
Googled it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter. We kind of get the gist of what it means. But it's ESP is like the thing I've been thinking about heaps this week. And last week we talked about science, and this is kind of a science. It's like a very fringe science that no one really believes in. But
Just like phrenology or
but-
making Frankensteins.
Yeah. But there's thought that it should be studied seriously because there are actually some serious studies that have been done that show interesting things that suggest that our minds can do some interesting things.
Is one of those professors a dog with glasses on and a lab coat with a bubble blowing pipe?
Yeah.
With a photo of himself and it says Professor Gruff.
Well, the vast majority of the science, in inverted commas, that has been done is has been pretty much debunked, all of it. But there's one or two kind of lingering studies that make the scientific community a bit not sure how what it means.
Yeah,
which is
that's
pretty
what
cool.
you love, isn't it? Just a bunch of eggheads nervously glancing around at each other
as
they realise that they are in a heathen's lair and God is going to smite them any second. I love the thought of all these scientists having that thought simultaneously go through their hands of this giant, almost see-through fist clamming through and smacking the one that looks most like Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
Flicking the one flicking another one straight into Thomas Edison's huge portrait mouth.
Yeah, it's a cool thought.
So it gets eaten by and then makes the portrait go up and down and chews him up.
Yeah, it's a nice thought to just think of
It is a nice
huge
thought. I do like that.
stadium of scientists just getting really freaked out by something which they've just their whole lives just known to be not true. If they were told that
Nervous
something crazy
mumbles,
was.
followed by a couple of quick gasps, followed by one of the scientists picking up a fire extinguisher and smacking another one in the head and then just spraying it into his face, not because he's panicking and wants to leave, just because he doesn't like him and this is a good opportunity to take him out.
But yeah, I was listening heaps about ESP during the week, and
Good.
I'm always really kind of skeptical about these things, and I was until today because they were talking about all these different types of ESP, and which pretty much all of them they just think is crap. But there's this one kind which is really popular at the moment called retroactive ESP, which is the idea, which sounds crazy, and I kind of do still think it's crazy, where they did this at Princeton University, they did this study where they got two options, and one had a erotic image behind it, and one had two cards and that were identical, and one had an erotic image behind it and the other didn't. And more often than not, more than chance amount, the participants would choose the card that had the erotic image, you could repeat the study countless times, and the erotic image would come up more times.
Erotic image doesn't sound that exciting to me. Don't you think that the word erotic connotes too much class to...
It's one of those 20s porn images
Yeah.
of the overweight woman with the robe kind of...
I'm not going to act my sixth
covering
sense
everything.
and ask spirits to help me out to see that. A black and white image of some woman that looks like an even more grotesque version of Betty Boop. No one wants to see that.
Well, it
I'm
turns
not
out that they
opening up
do.
my chakra for that.
Your
But a lot
chakra.
but 10 to 15% more people would. You sickos.
But, well,
That didn't prove anything.
But that's the thing, is that they're saying that the idea is they just can't explain it, and why is it that it's kind of that feeling you get when the phone's ringing and the phone's just sitting there, and then you look at the phone thinking oh, I feel like my phone's going to ring in a second, and then it just rings, and you're just how did I do that? And which is admittedly probably when it does happen, it's a very rare occasion, but because it happened, it marks a big spot in your brain. You're oh wow, I just did that.
So you think that all the time?
No,
I never think my phone's about to ring.
I've had that before, or little things where for example, those things are kind of discounted, but this one that happens every now and then. Have you ever had a dream of something was going to happen, of something happening, and then that day or days later that thing happened?
Yeah, so you're talking about deja vu.
But
which is French
specifically
for,
dreaming.
Let's
though.
just say yum. It's the only thing that I can link in my head at the moment. Move over, yo, play. There's something cooler to link to mediocre yogurt. Deja vu. It's French for this is pretty good, I guess.
No, but deja vu is just the feeling of that it's happened somewhere. But this is
Do you speak
remembering
French,
that
Tom?
you. Yeah,
How do you
I don't
know?
actually know what it means. Do you know
Well,
what deja
neither
vu
do
is?
I.
Yeah, no, I've had that experience where I've had that experience where I've dreamt something and I've experienced it. I've had one really scary one where I knew what one of my other friends was going to bring up, what topic they were going to bring up at a moment, and they did, and I was goodness
What
sake.
the hell? Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
the topic? Tell us about
For goodness. I mean,
Yeah, it was saucy, wasn't it? You knew that was
You don't
going
wanna
to happen
say
as
it,
soon
do
as you
ya?
said,
It
my
was
friend
erotic.
brought up a certain topic. Topic? Who says topic?
I only
My
say that
friend,
because
I knew my friend was going to say insert blank, and if you try to censor it, that's when you start using semi-high English words, things that they'd use in Pride and Prejudice.
An issue.
No, again, the reason I say that is because I can't particularly remember what it was that was brought up, but the sentiment rings true. It's fine.
Well, anyway, yeah. Well, like that's
Gross, Robbie.
the thing is like usually like I'd heard it.
Eroticism.
I'd like heard of that, but it never like properly happened at all. And I was just kind of like, it sounds crazy, and it probably is crazy. But it's like what Jordan was saying with UFOs last week, where that the name of the doco being "I know what I saw." It's like that happened to me today, where like I know what I remember.
Look at the smile on his face of experiencing something paranormal. It's a good feeling. Welcome to the team. I've never experienced anything paranormal, but I like to live vicariously for other people that have. I am the stage mother of the tinfoil hat wearing freak world. Yeah, they exist, and they exist in great form. Now get out there and tell your story. Me talking to some of them, direct quote.
Well, what happened is that like today I was like at work, and we were like recording a person doing like a voiceover, like an ADR, which is like recording their voiceover like some piece of film, so it looks like they're actually talking in the film, but it's just in like a studio.
Can we add to this story that you were riding there on a bike and you were hurriedly doing that with glasses on and a tie that kept flapping in your face, and you almost
get
hit a
there,
kid,
yeah.
but then you diverted it
yeah.
really quickly, just to add a little bit of
Zest to it.
yeah, that's pretty.
All right, well, that's what
lemony, isn't
happened.
it?
I got there after the bike riding.
Chicken
and
just
that-
turned to lemon chicken. Zesty.
Yeah, and like, the woman that was doing the voiceover then started telling a story about how she was driving somewhere, and then how she had to like, she saw someone like litter, and she had to like do a U-turn, and she like chased after them and like got mad at them for littering, and I then remembered like, because I had, and then I remembered that I had actually like dreamt this like exact event more or less happening, but in my dream something really bad like happened after. I can't remember what bad happened, but like it was like the whole like process messed up, and I specifically remember having that dream because I woke up and I was like, wow, that was really scary, but like that situation is so ridiculous, it would never happen.
Was
And
the ridiculous situation that she drove off a cliff, and inside the cliff was a huge bowl of spaghetti, and then she went in there and a baby mistook that car for a meatball? Because if it was, that's pretty ridiculous.
How crazy
isn't
would
it?
that be if it was? ESP. No, it wasn't.
Spreading like a virus, just to make people go, oh my God, you thought that too? No way. It is one of the most sinister viruses known to man. We need to find a cure. Take all the money out of cancer to cure that.
To cure ESP.
Oh, no way.
But
We
yeah, that's
can't
pretty
allow
weird
that
though,
to
right?
spread.
Like the options are, I just have like fabricated that I remembered it, even though I'm like, you know, pretty certain that I did remember having that dream, because it was like I know I remembered it, because I remember thinking like, oh, I would tell somebody this dream, but it's so like something that would never happen to me that that, you know, like it's not worth telling. And then like it just all ended up, I was like, oh my God, like this really specific example of something that I don't often do has happened, and I remembered it. And then they were talking about, like when they were talking about ESP, they were saying how like retroactive ESPs, like with the erotic experiment, which the reason it was like an erotic picture was because their like urge to see something erotic somehow has like backtracked in their mind, like time travel, but like not as like, it sounds nuts, but it's kind of like that idea of like preempting something that like you're like evolutionarily like you need, like you like seek like erotic material in that way, like so you'll like experience it. So it was kind of like, I don't know, it seemed as though there was some like little thing
So essentially you're saying
my
that you
mind
time traveled.
is what I'm saying.
Good work.
Yeah,
Man,
it's pretty
don't-
extreme conspiracy, like extreme crazy idea for me.
That is, what the hell?
But
is this bizarro world or is this real world? I can't tell anymore. I'm going to have to pinch myself. It's real world. That makes a very bizarre twist to it, though, doesn't it? Yeah. It's like this whole world is a giant peppercorn dispenser, and it's just been cracked back and forth. And that story was the...
But like,
That's
it
how
must
it
have been that
feels.
I've made it up in my mind, or it was just like, yeah, I guess that's the only option, right? Like, what else?
No, that's not the only option. The
Or
other
it's
option is
magic.
the one that you're Yes, exactly. You stop trying to mumble that into the microphone, putting a curse on it so it... I don't know what you're trying to do because you're a damn magician and you're too far beyond us mortals. I don't know what's on your mind anymore these days, Tom. Can I even be friends with such a magical being, or am I just your damn pet? Stop keeping humans as pets. It's creepy. I know you're trying to act like a human being, but you're not doing a very good job. From your personal dog, Jordan.
We were arguing about this before. I don't even want to bring it up.
Essentially, the argument stemmed from the gentleman that you remember from a previous pod that everybody wrote in and said that they despise all of his theories. Well, guess what? His theories live on in my mouth because I'm about to tell you another one. Dice Lee, after talking to Tom over whether or not there is a dome surrounding the Earth and the rest of it is just flat. So that guy, he now believes that the reason why Tom doesn't believe in the flat Earth is because Tom is a wizard. He can leave the dome at will, and I'm not around him 24 hours a day. I don't know what he does when I'm sleeping.
You never know.
Wizards don't sleep. He's definitely leaving out of the dome to put more crystals in here and make the grass grow.
Stars. And
You're definitely
rechange
the
the
Earth
light
wizard.
bulbs.
That's why you did so well at Earth Science, because you know this story. You invented it. It's ridiculous if you don't get a band 6 in year 12 for that.
fabricated the history of the Earth.
And also because the paper is made out of a tree, so you're able to whisper into its ears the same way that you could ask the spirit of Gaia to give you more power when you're Captain Planet. Look, it all makes sense. I, like you, thought Di was crazy until I started to really start gelling all of these instances that have happened in the past of Tom's life that are a little bit too... like the television show Entourage, where something bad seems like it might happen and then 3 minutes later something incredible that just makes him feel like putting on sunglasses and paying a cab to drive him to the other part of the city, and then he says, so why are you going over to Macquarie Fields? I don't know, just because I can afford it. Isn't the theme? That's that 70s show. But you know the TV show, maybe. It was on cable, so maybe some people don't. The point is, Tom is a wizard. Basically because he has an uncanny amount of luck. He predicts bad things happening before they do. Has deja vu. Wizards have deja vu, as do human beings. Just because they're magical beings doesn't mean that they're completely different to us. They're kind of like chimpanzees and human beings. We can do basic maths. Wizards can turn us into frogs and then wait for a fair maiden to kiss us, or prince, whatever floats your boat. Can't they?
Well, what do you guys think of ESP?
No. Because now you don't want to... You know why you try to get away from this conversation, don't you, Tom? A, because you don't want your magic abilities to be exposed to the general population, and that's a given. And I fully understand that. Your secret's safe with me and everybody else that listens to this pod. Spread the word, guys. But the other part is that I have a magic experiment to prove to everybody out there that Tom is indeed could definitely kick Gandalf's ass in both judo, because he did it for about half a year when he was 6, and in magical
Magecraft.
abilities. And maybe the card game Magecraft. Because
Is that a card game?
I don't know, I thought that it was. Now that you hold me up on it, I'm almost certain it isn't.
It's cool name though, if it was. Anyway, what's your
Yeah, I
test?
like it. If somebody wants to make a card and put it up on the Facebook page, we'll give it a like. That's all you're getting, though. Basically, I have something hidden behind this cushion, Tom.
Okay.
And I'm only going to give you one little hint. And no mortal human being, and I want Robbie as the clear squib in this situation. And I'm a muggle, but you're the bottom feeder of the magic world, Robbie, so wouldn't want to be in your situation. I could still be Prime Minister. You could only ever be a janitor. That's pretty sad.
I've experienced deja vu before.
It's a thing, man.
Robbie, to verify this, is the squib in the room who is always trying to turn me into a mushroom to punish me, but then always just puts some kind of foot fungus on the bottom of my foot, and that's no sweat. It costs $5 from the chemist to cure that. That's the best you could do.
All right, what's Robbie have to do?
Robbie, got over with Tom. I want you to both look at this little clue, and then I want Robbie to verify that no close to a mortal human being could witness what this is. They'd need to have magical abilities to sense what is under the couch. So we'll just take that out now, initiating that, giving everybody a little taste of what that is. Now, Robbie, what did you see then? Talking to Tom's mic. Don't try and echo into the room.
This is the sound guy.
You are a squib. You're not a magician.
Look, so I'm supposed to say to you what I think that is. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. But then why wouldn't Monty then be influenced by what I said?
No, he doesn't, because he's magic, and we're about to prove it. I'm just giving because there's no eyes out there listening to this. You can't do that with your eyes, can you? Maybe you can if you're a wizard, but again, this is just for the norms out there, okay? The normies.
Okay, I think it's a can of V.
Oh, okay. Well, that was maybe I gave it away too quickly then. Which proves that Tom has mind control abilities. Ergo, he is a wizard. We've proved it. He has just possessed Robbie to take the heat away from Tom. You are a crafty, wily little weasel wizard. A weezard, if you will. That sounds much more disgusting than what he is. Tom is quite a handsome man, but he's probably using his magical abilities again to disguise the fact that he's probably 700 years old. How does KJ sleep with you? That is, you are a tree. You are a tree, Tom. Just admit it. That's what you did. And then we can move on. As soon as you just say that you mind control his abilities, and there's some people that can do that, including Mind Freak on Fox 8.
And who's the new one? Who's the new Chris Angel? What's his name? Inferno or something like that. Anyway, he's
both
amazing.
of them could probably do it, and
it was a V.
It was a V, and I'm shaking, trying to hold on to it, but Tom's making me throw it. He's dangling his feet. Actually, he's dangling his fingers and handed over to him. And he caught it straight into his hand. Yeah. Magical abilities on 2 accounts proven. Please open it, you mighty wizard, and give me a sip. I'm thirsty. I'm so thirsty.
All right, let's move on to the next segment, which is...
I think the next segment is Wes delivering us some stand-up, so get ready to hear one of the meekest, shyest human beings that I heard skulking around in there, thinking that we forgot,
Can I just say
scuttling into the basement.
I did feel some sort of...
Whatever.
some sort of manipulation.
Oh my God. You know this is something I would hate. Oh, is he? No. Oh, God damn it, Wes. Yeah. We knew this. I told you he wouldn't come in. I don't even think he's in the shower. I reckon he's standing in there alone.
Oh, you actually are doing that.
Oh, no, yeah, I really do actually want to have a V.
Okay. So the next
I shouldn't have given him one of
Robbie's show reel. So last week we all heard Robbie act out as Brandon T. Jackson. I'm really surprised I remember that guy's name from Tropic Thunder. And this week, Robbie is going to be showing what he's got as a cast member from Home and Away because
he really wants to get his profile out there,
and we're just
trying to get himself a good agent
instead
of one of those ones that's just a housewife that's got no kids left and owns a house and got one ad once of some kid on a Benadryl ad and advertises herself as the next Jeremy Piven in the show Entourage again. Yes. That's basically what she's trying to do, and Robbie thinks he deserves more than that. Well, now it's time for him to prove it to us. He's imaginary casters. Tom and Jordan.
It's a casting session. Me and Jordan are going to be reading out the opposite characters, and you've got a script on. Oh, do I? Okay. And we will be testing Robbie and his acting skills, and
with, of course, the most challenging roles there is. So last week it was Tropic Thunder, which we all know is a dramatic masterpiece filled with hilarious quips from celebrities that were at their best, admittedly, in the early 2000s.
Jack Black.
Look, it's a decline from the top is still pretty close to the top, isn't it? So we're going for something. You thought that was big. That was just K2, baby. We're going to Mount Everest this week. We're talking Home and Away here, guys. The television show that's always been on directly after a television show that tries and makes you be scared of women that have poor dental hygiene, that throw things in your windows, and I'd be scared of that too. They do a good job at what they're trying to peddle there. Shout out to Today Tonight, even though you've been discontinued for almost a year now.
So, Robbie,
so
explain the context of the scene that you're going to be acting for.
So the scene I chose was from a Home and Away episode. It involves the characters Jude, Noah, Flynn, and Shauna. And so I'll play Noah and Shauna, and you guys can either choose Jude or Flynn.
Don't think that's how casting agencies work. I'm pretty sure that we're supposed to designate them to you, but seeing as we didn't have our phone up, thank you for doing that, Robbie.
Okay, so we're what?
Okay.
You're who? No, you're Noah.
I'm Noah and Shauna.
Okay, and we're Jude.
You're Jude and Flynn.
Okay.
So,
okay. Well, Jordan, you be Jude, and I'll be Flynn.
Thanks so much for having me. And all right, so.
Hear that?
Oh, he's
double thread. Almost as good as a triple thread, much better than a single thread. All right. You're definitely... you're too good for one of those mums.
All right, let's begin.
Can't you play something a little more cheerful, mate?
Sure I can.
There's a knock on the door. Jude answers it. Flynn is there.
Who's playing the blues?
It's coming straight from the heart, isn't it, brother? Hey. I'm pretty sure that they are not using brother in the nice sense. I'm pretty sure they're literally saying brother. That is a sibling.
Yeah.
It is a very good script.
Hey.
Hello.
So, how did Seb go?
Well, he gave up when his fingers started to hurt.
Kids today, mate. Can't play when your fingers bleed.
Noah and Flynn start playing together. Hey, hang on a sec. Jude gets his... Jude's a guy? Holy crap.
Oh, start again.
That's it.
No, good go.
Yeah, I don't want to start again. Let's just... There's one line left. That's it. Yeah, that's great. What do you reckon, babe? Oh, I'm supposed to be playing the drums. Joel Turner is in the building. At Home and Away, that is the kind of crossover they would do. Yes, it's their big guys. Well, you chose the right character to really flaunt off your skills this week, Robbie, didn't you? Basically because you were playing the guitar, so good on that front, but this is an acting agency. Get the hell out.
Yeah, on second thought, that was a pretty poor scene to pick.
One line.
Yeah.
And because Wes is singing in the shower to Robbie playing the guitar, I don't think that we'll be listening to his hilarious stand-up line that we
really were hoping
tried to force onto him, but he realised that we had no actual authority to make him do it. He's a clever, wily little weasel, isn't he? Because if he is still in the shower, then we will end the pod at this point.
He's still in there.
Oh, yeah, that's what you get when you listen to this pod, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Well, that's it for episode 8, everybody. Thank you. Yep, that's it. That's it. That's all we've got. Good night.
No, good night. See you guys. Bye-bye, Robbie. Back into the box you go.